in Perth. Let's bring in now Liberal MP, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives and member for Fisher, Andrew Wallace. So let's just pick up on something the Prime Minister said at the end there on the production tax credits. The coalition's opposing that. Could that come back to bite you in the West where it is popular?
Well, Kieran, I sat there and listened to what the Prime Minister had to say just now, and I think the Prime Minister should be consider himself very fortunate that he's not under investigation by the ACCC for misleading and deceptive conduct. I mean, virtually everything that the Prime Minister just talked about was political spin in the nth degree. Australia is doing it tough right now. Australians across the country are undergoing a significant cost of living crisis. You know, we're seeing after 12 interest rate rises in this country under his watch, we've seen inflation very, very sticky. We're the only developed or advanced country in the OECD that hasn't seen the sort of reductions that we've seen now in interest rates in the US, in New Zealand and in Canada. Australians are doing it really tough, and this Prime Minister is not concentrating on what he should be concentrating on, and that's getting inflation down and getting the cost of living down for everyday Australians.
The opposition leader says there will be the costings on the nuclear plan before the end of the year. Would you like that to be released sooner rather than later to fill the vacuum that your critics are filling with their concerns around the proposal?
Well, look, this is really typical at the moment, Kieran. I mean, the nuclear energy to power Australian households and business is a groundbreaking thing. It's never been done before in Australia. It's a significant reform and significant change, and these things take time. You know, when you're in opposition, you don't have the benefit of departments of thousands of public servants working for you. But I know that Ted O'Brien and his team and Dutton's team are working really hard to ensure that we get all of those costings to the Australian people in due course. That'll be done before the election, and it'll be done at the appropriate time, not at the choosing of the time of the Prime Minister or Chris Bowen.
I noticed there was a campaign launched in your seat. I don't believe they've got a candidate yet, but the Voices of Fisher campaign wanting to take you on a Teal-style movement. Are you worried about that? Is there any talk as to who that opponent might be?
No, look, I don't think they've found a candidate yet, Kieran. But look, no, I'm not worried at all, because that's the beauty of living in Australia. You know, we're a democracy. No one person or political party has a right or entitlement to a seat. And if someone thinks that they can do a better job and they want to have a crack, good luck to them. We'll wait and see. But what I can tell you is that I've lived on the Sunshine Coast for 32 years now, and I feel like I know my electorate pretty darn well. And if you look at the survey that the Teals put out just recently for the seat of Fisher, they say that people in Fisher, their number one concerns are things around the environment. Well, I can tell you now, that is not what I'm hearing. What I am hearing is that people are absolutely concerned about the lack of infrastructure. We are the fastest growing region in the country, and people need infrastructure. If governments are going to put planning schemes in place that force people or direct people to the Sunshine Coast, then what people want is we want better rail, we want better roads. Cost of living and infrastructure are the two major issues that we're dealing with, not the sort of nonsense that the Teals are talking about.
Okay, we'll see who they come up with. I can see why it's a fast-growing region. It's God's country up there. Andrew Wallace, thanks.
It is indeed.
Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Kieran.
A man has